Ladies and gentlemen, before the formal introductions, I have a very special announcement. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Kevin McElvaney from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. And the news broke earlier today on PWI's Twitter feed that PWI, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, the oldest publication in professional wrestling, has hereby officially christened the IWTV Independent Wrestling Championship as the IWTV Independent Wrestling World Championship! This match, one fall, 60-minute time limit, 20 count on the floor. Your referee is Gina Monty. Introducing first the challenger. He is accompanied to ringside by the aesthetic crippler, Kevin Blackwood. From Buffalo, New York, weighing at 187 pounds, he is the current C4 Wrestling Champion. He is the current Empire State Wrestling Champion. And the current Limitless Wrestling Champion, Daniel Garcia!
Here come the streamers. I can't chant on commentary, right? Wouldn't hold it against you.
His opponent in the corner to my right is accompanied to ringside by the Coastal Elite, Logan Easton LaRoe. He represents from Silicon Valley, weighing in at 192 pounds. He is the man that holds the only championship here today that matters.
Wow.
Tonight, he makes his fourth title defense of a 64-game reign, but his first defense as IWTV Independent Wrestling World Champion, Wheeler Yuta!
Well, I object to the claim that the championships from Empire State, C4 and Limitless don't matter. They absolutely do matter. You can check out all those promotions here on IWTV, some of the best we have to offer. But the top prize on the Independence is, in fact, in the possession of Wheeler Yuta, the World Championship of Independent Wrestling, as recognized by the neutral arbiter, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. That's how that started. Years and years ago, boxing magazines, wrestling magazines, they wanted to come together to agree on what the best titles were, to tell fans, this is what you should be paying attention to. These are the titles that have global impact. That's why people pay attention to that PWI recognition. And that's what we've got there, the prize, the Independent Wrestling World Championship.
You can absolutely feel the intensity between these two. Just look at the look in Garcia's eyes. He leads the league and fire in his eyes. And he's going to stare a laser beam into Wheeler Yuta's face right now.
Got a bell here. Garcia coming forward first.
Man, you got to get in here. Join the conversation. Use that hashtag IWTV100. Who you got? You got Red Death or you got the world champ Wheeler Yuta? Let us know.
Garcia already kind of, I started to say he was already sort of cornering Yuta. Yuta's got to be very, very careful. Keep his back away from that corner. against somebody like Garcia.
I think Garcia owns the center of that ring.
Let's take down Garcia. Sizing up. You can look, like you said, you can see him thinking.
Yep.
He's strategizing. And, I had an opportunity to see him in person this weekend at the Phoenix City Invitational. He's always moving forward. He's so aggressive.
Yeah.
He might be the most persistent, aggressive wrestler I've maybe ever seen. I mean, he's always on top of it.
Okay. I mean, we could take this back to some of our comments on Adam Priest. Don't have to like the guy. Don't have to like his attitude. But you can't deny the ability of Wheeler Yuta.
I mean, he dropped Lee Moriarty on his head after 50-plus minutes, and he won that title.
Yep.
In a legit fashion. I mean, he is the champ.
Yeah.
Make no mistake. And Garcia's got to be him.
It's true. He's got that wrist lock. Wheeler rolls through, picks the leg, sends him down.
Not even the satisfaction of the one count. Both these guys immediately up.
Ooh, open that pile driver. That could be it. Let's go, let's go. My God, 2.
Oh, boy. Yuta.
So he's hurt. I would have taken that.
He is hurt. And, I mean, this guy won the title in 50-plus minutes. He almost lost it in 3. I mean, that was...
It can happen at any time. It doesn't matter. Especially with these type of competitors, it does not matter if it's in 5 or 50 or 5 hours. It doesn't matter.
These guys can both go. But, right, man, Yuta's neck getting hurt this early in the matchup. I mean, that's tough. And I also want to make mention, we do have seconds for both of these guys.
Yep.
Logan Easton Moreau in the corner of Wheeler Yuta. Kevin Blackwood in the corner of Daniel Garcia. Hopefully they will just be there for encouragement. I want to see a competitive matchup here without outside interference, of course. Yuta early on using the roof for some strategizing, I think, maybe.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it's a big fight, man. When you see some of these big combat sports, what do they have? Corners, coaching, people to help keep things gathered. You know, if you let your emotions take control, that's when you'll lose control of that title.
Absolutely. As noted, there's a 20 count for a count out here.
Okay.
Just to be clear, here's the rules we're operating under here in this World Championship match. Garcia with a flurry in the corner. Oh my, oh boy. And he was in the corner. If that's in the center of the ring, that's borderline stoppage territory. Yuta knocked right back down.
Oh boy.
He's bringing it to him.
Yeah, Garcia, like a shark with blood in the water. He realizes that neck is not in the best shape after that pile driver. Now ripping at the face.
Yeah, they literally on the bridge of your nose, your eyes, everything attacked there by that wrist clutch.
Sweeps the leg, lateral press. Back to that front face lock.
Nick Bockwinkel style front face lock.
Make him carry the weight.
That's right. Wear him down real quick. Not to mention, you slip that arm around, choke him out with a guillotine from there. And not quite. Close to having one there. Oh my goodness. Big knee. Into a quick cover. Garcia keeps going for falls, and that's smart, because he's got to beat the champ. The champ doesn't have to be him.
Yeah. Pressure on, all times. He never stops moving forward. And that's not in an actual sense. It's in forward towards victory.
Looking for that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, goodness. He's got a body scissors. He had a body triangle there.
Wrapped in tight. Wow, look at the escape from Wheeler Yuta.
What a count. I mean, most people get trapped in a body scissors that tight. They'll submit from that alone. See look at those bicycle kicks to get out. Oh, is he going for Garcia lock?
No, he's looking a little bit of his own there.
Stretching him out there. Just pounding him. In the spine. I mean, that hurts your knees, your back, your arms, your shoulders, everything. You got a hold of that leg, though. Oh, yeah.
Look at him sink it in, float over.
Time for the STF. It's almost a regal stretch variation.
Man, he's got him bent in bad shape.
Look where his body is, too. The body in between the ropes. It'll be very difficult for you to get a rope break there.
Look at him putting the hand over
for cover.
Wow.
Take the breathing away in a room this hot and humid. Suplex.
Snaps him over, floats over.
Man, if this thing was being scored on points, I mean, right now, this is like, you're not supposed to score 10-9, anything more than a 10-9. They say it's like a 10-3 maybe right now. I mean,
he's dominating.
I'm not taking anything away from Yuta. He's had some nice counters here and there, but Garcia's controlled everything so far. Yuta able to get on top, though. Can't get those shoulders down.
Look at Garcia go, just twerking away. You gotta think, Yuta's been in these positions before where he's gone long lengths in a wrestling match. I mean, is he just waiting for Garcia to burn himself out?
Maybe, but that's, to me, that's an insane risk to take against somebody at the level of Daniel Garcia. I mean, against maybe a younger competitor or somebody who's not as talented, who isn't as aggressive, I could see perhaps trying to do that. Maybe also against a bigger man. Somebody in the cardiovascular condition to Daniel Garcia, that strategy's not going to work, I don't think.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone with better cardio than Red Death Daniel Garcia.
And, you know, recently on IWTV, a very good professional wrestler interviewing Wheeler Yuta on his A Very Good Professional Wrestling interview, and he said he didn't think, he bet, in fact, that Yuta could not beat Garcia in under 30 minutes. Now he says he doesn't think Yuta will beat Garcia at all.
Yeah. Look at him just ripping away.
The discourse on who's going to win this thing, you know, we did have a poll. Oh, my God. I'm going to shut up here because we might see a submission. We might see the end of this thing. And what would be the most dominant victory ever?
Wheeler is being handled.
Really, really is. And I started to say, we did do an online media poll, a social media poll. And if I'm not mistaken, it was very, very close, but I believe Garcia won the poll narrowly. The majority of people, I think, slightly favored the challenger in this matchup in terms of who they thought was going to win. Experts I've talked to, people in and around the wrestling business, seem to be leaning in the direction of Garcia as well, but betting against Yuta, I think, could be a mistake because he's so resilient. Got that heel hook. And that poll was really close. I think it was like 51 to 49.
Yeah,
I mean, it was very narrow. It's really a pick 'em.
I voted for Danny. Ripping at the face. Maybe that's something that Wheeler needs to do here to finally gather himself. Oh, but he's back.
It just pissed him off, dude. I don't even know if it hurt him. You know, it's like,
oh my God.
They used to say about Forrest Griffin in the UFC, he doesn't fight well until he's hurt. You know, Garcia, you hurt him or you irritate him, and it brings out like another level in him. He's not like normal people.
No, I know. Sometimes the switch just flips, and it doesn't take anything but his music to hit, and then it's over. Red Death is a nickname, but that's what he sees. Red!
Oh, he's thinking pile driver again. Oh, wait a minute!
Drops down. Deep arm drag. Man, slaps those scissors on. Takes him over. Headlock. Ooh, and look at you to go. Both of these two back and forth in the center. And shakes it off.
Execution there. Very impressive. I'm going to note this as well. You know, they talk about curtain sellouts. This is one. There's a lot of guys who were on this show earlier that are paying very close attention, that are out among us, among the production team, peeking behind the curtain, stirring around on the fringes of the crowd here. People want to see who is going to win this World Championship match. Not just fans, not just everybody viewing at home on IWTV, but people inside the wrestling business. They want to know who should they be laser focused on next.
And we're going to find out. Look at these two back up to their feet. Not letting go. Even with all the perspiration, still able to keep that headlock.
That's really hard. That shows you the level of technique, because it's with all that sweat, you can slip off very, very easily, even if somebody's applying it well. That's excellent application here.
Look at him grinding his own chin into the top of the head.
Yep.
Talk about somebody who's willing to do anything and everything to inflict damage.
Absolutely. Look, you can win a match with a headlock. I mean, Ed Strangler Lewis won World Championships with a headlock. This is not unprecedented in the history of pro wrestling. So,
well, that nickname, of course he did.
Oh, nice counter by Yuta. He may have roped him in slightly there. Oh, goodness. Right back to it.
He just can't hold the advantage for nothing but a split second.
Oh, he holds on. And you know what? This reminds me a lot of former WWF World Champion Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund used to utilize a headlock this way a lot. He would really drive people, wear them out, take every piece of energy out of them, then hit that Manhattan drop or something else and scoop the win. That may be something Garcia is going after here.
Carrying his weight at almost all times. Big European lifter sends him down. Back to it.
I think he recognizes not only did he hit that big pile driver and weaken that neck earlier, but this hold has been so effective for him. There's no reason to go to anything else.
Yeah, it's working.
That neck was injured immediately at the beginning of this match. Man, that'll hurt your neck too. Put the canvas that hard.
Garcia off the ropes. Wheeler, leapfrog, waist lock from Garcia, standing switch from Yuta. One of his own from Garcia. Looking for that O'Connor roll.
Nice.
Man, look at these two. Oh, backdrop driver.
You know,
and right on the top of his head, you see him grab that neck and shoulder.
You live by the headlock, maybe you die by it sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can't blame Garcia for going after it like that, but Yuta finally able to find a counter, not just a counter, but a big-time counter.
Yep. We're not talking about a reversal into a hammerlock. We're talking about a backdrop driver on the top of his head. But now you're seeing him pick his body part
right on that arm. He's standing, all of his weight just standing on it. Oh, that was on the AC joint. That was on the AC joint, and I've seen some very, very ugly injuries to people's AC joints over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, career enders.
Yeah, you're talking stretching out a labrum, tearing a labrum, rotator cuff issues, full separations. And you got to think it all started with that backdrop driver landing on top of his head, shoulder, and neck.
Yep. You land up high on that collarbone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not fun.
No. God, getting chopped in the collarbone ain't fun either.
To say, talk about a collarbone. Oh. Something so simple becomes so deadly as he just snaps him down to the canvas, shoulder first. All his body weight. And now slaps on that key lock.
Garcia keeping his wrist clench there. Don't want to give up wrist control.
Look at him float over. Maybe looking for Koji clutch. Not enough. Yank back on that wrist. Oh, he's got that hand trap.
Yeah, that's not good. If you're Daniel Garcia, that's not good. Did a great job to avoid that.
He could have broken his arm.
But he didn't even have the strength in the arm to to hit an Irish whip. I mean, he couldn't even get him up against the ropes. That's a bad sign. That's a really bad sign. If you're rooting for Daniel Garcia in this one, when somebody's arm is so weakened that they can't execute an Irish whip, oh, he's got a trap. We're going Anderson style here. Right on. Yep. Garcia, there's so much fight in this guy. Not even a 2 count. You know his arm's got to be killing him. He's not even going to cede a 2 count there.
Well, you're just seeing the tables turn. The majority of the beginning of this fight was Red Death Daniel Garcia. All gas, no brakes. But somehow, some way, Wheeler Yuta able to turn the tables and now find himself in the driver's seat. But for how long?
Yeah. That's a good point. Garcia trying to counter there. Thought he was going to have it for a second. Yuta using his own momentum against him. That's the problem with a hold like that. Yuta immediately on the ropes. Immediately on the ropes. And immediately back on that arm with a drop kick. Into a cover. Still just a 1.
He won't give it to him.
No, he does it. Yeah, somebody in the crowd said you can't get 2. Yep. You know, I mean, and right now he can't. I mean, that shows the fight in Daniel Garcia. It also maybe shows the stubbornness in it.
Yeah, trust me, it's stubbornness. Absolutely. He has that it has to be me mentality. No matter what he's doing, it has to be him. And it just so happens he's in a world title fight right now. And it has to be him who wins.
Well, it may be, but it's hard to see what the path is at this second.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The path seemed a bit clearer a few minutes ago.
Hit that hard. When they hit those turnbuckles, there's no good way to hit them.
No.
But sometimes you're able to brace a little bit. I don't think Garcia necessarily even knew where he was in the ring on impact, and that makes it so much worse.
It's those sudden impacts. That's the ones that you're bracing yourself for.
Ooh. Trying to fight back with a leg kick there. Yeah. Yuta was coming. We're going to catch it.
And stepping on that arm again. Oh, just delivering that. Oh! Ooh, look at him.
Traps him immediately. That's like a traditional pro wrestling head scissors, but you could do a lot of things out of that hold. Back up to the vertical base.
Just stepping to the side of his face.
You know what also happened there is Garcia was forced to sort of use that weakened arm to try to fight it off. Yeah. And that in and of itself is a form of damage to the arm as well.
Yeah, even defending yourself with a damaged limb causes more damage.
Blackwood trying to work out the kinks there. I mean, probably better than, oh, come on. Well, I mean, you can question whether Blackwood should be reaching up in the ring like that, but nonetheless.
Don't give Logan Easton LaRue any ideas.
Nope, that was a short knee. That was a short, wait a minute.
Ooh, did he catch him with that?
Yeah, that was, okay, Gina checking in there. She says this can continue, but that was scary. I mean, that was a really tight impact.
And normally you don't see the laser focus leave the eyes of Red Death. But for a second, things definitely changed.
Pulls him.
He's got his wits about him, able to drop the center of gravity.
Spreading those legs as far apart as he can. Creating that wide stance. Makes it difficult. Garcia hits one of his own. The arm's still bothering him, but this creates some space. This creates some space. More importantly, it creates some time for him to think.
Yeah.
Maybe he can think offensively now instead of defensively, which is what he's had to do for the last, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 minutes.
Yep. Crowd behind Red Death Daniel Garcia as he's back to his feet.
Oh, God. Oof. And he hit hard. The champ hit real hard in that corner. Trying to stay on him here. Again! And keep in mind, that pile driver early, all that head like that, grinding it out, and then that sort of concussive whiplash effect in the corner.
Look at him. Look at that bravado of sorts with one hand. I mean, just shows how much that left arm is bothering him.
It's going to be very, very difficult for him to effectively weaponize the left arm. I mean, it's going to be hard. He thought twice. Did you see that? He went to throw an elbow, and he thought twice about it and stopped himself. Switched to a hold.
And look at him thinking about how to apply more pressure, because normally he would just float over and use that arm.
Now he put himself in a position here where he could still grip the wrist, even if he can't get a full hand grip.
Sure. But is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth hurting your arm further to get a victory?
If you believe you can submit your opponent, yes, but Yuta's, I mean, he's so skilled on the mat, able to shift weight there. Oh, but he's pulling him back to the center. Almost, not quite a twister variation, but it's close.
I don't know if that's a plus or a minus for you, young man.
That might be true.
Yeah, I think he might have fucked up a little bit.
That second one didn't even hit him, but that kick did. Oh goodness.
They're sending him head over heels into that corner times 2. Ooh, head bouncing off the mat.
Landing awkwardly and hard in the corner. Comes right down. No! Big drop kick. Sticks with the boot. Big flurry in the corner. Big flurry in the corner. And again, that's the second time with that brute flurry. Because it's in the ropes, you're not going to get a ref stoppage in the ropes like that ever. That's true, but you're not going to get a ref stoppage during a technical rule violation.
Sure.
If that occurs in the center of the ring, however, the referee might stop it in Garcia's favor. I mean, I know we're splitting hairs here. We're talking theoreticals, but this thing, any moment, any move, anything could change. Oh, wait a minute. Is that a very good professional wrestler in the front row? Is that? I think it is. Now, he said he was going to go sit out there, and I mentioned some people that were in the crowd. I actually didn't even notice him out there.
Oh, where are these two going?
They are on the far end of this building's packed. I mean, they're
yeah, absolutely. And look at Garcia with a knee lift to the side. Big lifter.
Remember, a 20 count on the floor.
That's right.
LaRue carrying Yuta away from Garcia. That's questionable. Big flurry of overhand strikes. Almost hammer fist there.
Oh,
that's to the ear. Wow.
Look at that.
They're at 19.
Oh, what an absolute savage.
Yeah.
Sometimes his intensity may be to his detriment. He sees red and wants to inflict pain. But he also knows he couldn't win the title that way.
That's true. But the amount of time it took him to roll back in and break the count was just enough time for you to get his wits back. These two guys are both really brilliant strategists, and they're smart wrestlers, and they've proven to both be patient wrestlers in some respects here. They've gone to different strategies, putting money in the bank. Neither has been able to get a win with it yet, but the seeds are planted. Goodness, speaking of being planted.
Right on the apron. Back first. And you can just see a disoriented look on Wheeler Yuta's face.
Garcia just moving forward again. Always moving forward. Oh my God. That was the steal. I don't think he hit the actual padded portion of the, not that padding, that effective a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think he got right into that.
Oh, wait a minute.
Look on this man's face.
This could be a kill shot. Oh my God.
Shotgun drop kick to the side.
Into a cover.
Head.
2. Wow.
Lateral press.
I am a little surprised there that Wheeler Yuta was able to kick out. And that's not to discredit Wheeler Yuta, but when you get a running drop kick to the head that ricochets across solid steel, the odds of you being able to kick before 3 are very, very low. That is world champion stuff. Scorpion deathlock, sharpshooter, whatever you want to call it. That he likes to utilize.
Look at him able to still go and pick that ankle. It's like even when he's on the rebound, he's still focused on a body part.
Yep.
It's just a testament to the focus and the intensity. I mean, nobody more prepared than Daniel Garcia. Huge weekend for him. Incredible performances at SCI.
Absolutely.
Now to come here and challenge for the world title.
While carrying 3 championships into this, 3 major championships. Exactly. Empire State, C4, and Limitless. You know, that's covering a lot of geographic territory.
It is.
It may not be the PWI recognized Independent Wrestling World Championship, but this guy's got a claim. He's got a claim, and he is the #1 contender, and we're going to find out whether or not he can make that claim a reality. Oh man, that arm. It just keeps coming back to that arm.
Yeah, man. Second verse, same as the first. Back to that arm.
He called for the official to check on it, and I'm not sure.
Mind games? Yuta trying to catch his breath.
I mean, he's got to be careful because if you ask an official to intervene like that, if you're not too careful, you can put yourself in a position where they're more likely to stop it.
Fair.
He didn't get all of that, and that's not going to work against Daniel Garcia. Here comes a flurry.
Ooh, hell of a back elbow right on the button. There's Yuta with a more appropriate clubbing blows to the back of the neck.
Official in there, trying to get him off the ropes. Now they're up on the top of it, at least Garcia is. Placed there by Yuta, I'm not sure what he has in mind.
Oh, jumping kick to the side of the head. Sends Daniel Garcia down, perched on that top turnbuckle.
Very awkwardly too.
Yep.
That's precarious. Yuta now. Got it hooked.
Hooks that head.
Yuta trying to keep a hold of the ropes himself.
Garcia with his one hand clenched on that top.
He's fighting. He's fighting really hard to avoid this. And he's able to. Garcia able to avoid there.
Now look at him gather himself. Trying to figure out what's the best route for him.
Yeah, he was literally looking around to see what the play was.
And sadly, not an area where Garcia is familiar.
No.
Rarely do we see him going up to the high rank district, and it cost him, man.
We don't, and just as we saw the head and neck of Yuta smack into that steel several minutes ago, that same piece of steel, albeit in a different location on the ring, that's how Garcia landed, on that same joint, that same hook. The hook, the same type of hook that ripped open the mouth of Warhorse that we talked about earlier. That's the kind of damage that can do. We've seen one guy's head get kicked into it. We've seen another guy's arm and sternum crash into it from the top. So, I mean, that's career-changing potentially.
Absolutely.
What is... He's kept... Oh, he just... A very good... That bet was made. I mentioned that earlier. The bet was made. A very good professional wrestler said he did not think that Yuta could beat Daniel Garcia inside 30 minutes.
And he just got up and left.
He's won the bet.
Yeah.
He's won the bet. I mean, a lot of people were watching this for all sorts of reasons. I guess he wanted to win that bet.
Look at Wheeler just going to work.
He literally had a stopwatch on his phone.
Hey, winners are going to win, right?
It's an interesting development. Of course, a very good professional wrestler, still injured. Over that kind of rehab back from that ankle injury he sustained at the ECW Super 8. Oh my gosh.
Just like that, we could have had a new world champion. But look, Wheeler Yuta able to gather himself, dropping him torso first across that rope.
The torso, perhaps, and also the arm. I mean, both maybe.
Yeah.
Now you got almost the entire torso, appendages included, being weakened now by Yuta. Garcia has seen better days, to be sure, trying to fight back here from his knees. Yuta just one kick, just punts him with one big boot to the sternum, to the ribs.
Pulls him back up to his feet, hooks the head. Garcia drops his center of gravity.
Again, and I said this earlier, those aren't giant rubber bands. No, there are steel cables in those things. When you first start wrestling and you hit the ropes, you get huge bruises and welts all over your body. That's what they do to the human body. Cover.
Only one.
So being thrown on top of him like that, from that angle, devastating. We've seen wrestlers over the years utilize things like a slingshot suplex to finish their opponent. So Garcia really in a bad way, and that whole ring has really been used against him in the last few moments. Charles.
Yeah, 100%. Just you're seeing Wheeler Yuta use this entire structure to inflict damage.
That arm failed him again. That arm failed him again. One more time. Goodness. And Blackwood, did you see Blackwood? Blackwood is just grabbing at his head, wincing on behalf of his friend and training partner.
He's trying to coach him up, trying to make sure he's still with it. I mean, these aren't blows that are going to make you lose consciousness, but it's certainly going to get your morale in the wrong direction.
Absolutely.
It's demoralizing.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I mean, you're especially for a guy as confident as Garcia. Look at what's he maybe thinking abdominal stretch, maybe octopus variation. Garcia leans down and grabs the hold of the wrist. That's great defensive wrestling. Look at that wide base too.
Trying to keep those hands clasped, fight from letting. He's saying no.
You know, at this juncture of the match, for him to fight that long was impressive, but Yuta's still able to get it.
Cinching that claw right into the rib cage, into the obliques. And I mean, you got to think that getting draped down across those ropes, an abdominal stretch doesn't feel good. Takes him over with that hip toss. Ooh, big hit to the chest. Yuta back up to his feet, back to the abdominal stretch.
And this works the abs, it works the sternum, it works the leg.
The arm and the neck, I mean, shoulders.
Basically every part of your body other than maybe your toes. Counters again though.
But every time he wants to get out, he has to hit that powerful hip toss, which then inflicts even more damage.
That's absolutely right. This crowd coming alive for the challenger though.
Back up to their feet.
She just flung his body forward, but
referee checking in on Red Death Daniel Garcia, and the disrespect from the champions.
You know, we talked about the cardio of Daniel Garcia earlier, and don't get me wrong, his cardio is not what's failing him. He's got a hurt rib cage, sternum, and arms, but the cardio of Wheeler Yuta is extremely impressive. I mean, his performance right now. Quick cover. 2. That backbreaker also targets the ribs. Also targets the, if you ever had broken or cracked ribs, that goes from the front all the way to the back.
Just stomps away. I mean, all we did was talk about the cardio and the intensity of Daniel Garcia. But I mean, you said it. Yuta in incredible shape, top of his game, won that title in a tremendous fight against Lee Moriarty, 50-plus minutes.
Absolutely.
He's built for it.
He is absolutely built for it. Ooh, with a backhand. Oh, Yuta returning. That was right on the ear. That was to the chest. That was almost to the throat. Garcia just trying to create space right now.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we're starting to see him sacrifice some precision for the power.
He's clinging onto the ropes. Garcia fighting to get away and ends up climbing the ropes almost out of just, I don't want to say desperation, but maybe a strategic decision. Gets a quick move. Pulls you in. That, he can't even use that left arm. You see that? That was all from that right side of the body. He couldn't even use the left arm.
Wheeler in a precarious situation.
Ooh, back chop. I think it bellied up. Oh. He let it way up on that neck and head. And earlier in the match, Yuta sustained a lot of damage to that neck and that head. Garcia may have found an equalizer, at least temporarily, but can he get to a cover? Can he capitalize? Can he put a combination, a flurry, something together? The crowd now chanting new champ. That could be the case. I mean, in one day, Yuta could go from the first Independent Wrestling World Champion to the second. That could happen in one day. We could see that happen right now at IWTV 100. Man,
Administering the count.
I keep switching from our monitor here to my real world view to see if I can get a better perspective on the agony that Garcia. See if maybe he's playing possum, maybe he's trying to regroup. Hard to tell. Over, rolls through. Ooh. Oh, he chased me.
John Jones kick, small package. No!
Oh. Right into that big chop. Garcia's still in there.
Ooh, got that choke hook in.
That left arm still hurting. Not the best grip, but he's got a grip. Grind him down to the ground. Oh, he almost had a bully choke there.
Snaps him over. Yet one arm snaps him over.
And he was able to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many guys 40 minutes in are able to do that? Garcia trying to work some life into that left arm so he's not fighting with one arm. He's taking brain buster there, suplex perhaps. Yuta able to just drop weight, drop to a knee. Yuta got him up.
Still with the and there's the brain buster.
He hung him out to dry with it. Quick cover. Still. Nope. At this point, when we're looking at, I don't know where we are, maybe 40 minutes plus, I'm not exactly sure. This deep in, any high impact move could end it. Because 40 plus in this condition, in this building, against the caliber of athlete, you're opposite. Anything that is high impact, could end, anything that's technically precise could end it. Yuta just collapsing there.
I mean, a lot of energy has been exerted. A lot of damage administered. I mean, from the neck of Wheeler Yuta to the shoulder and arm.
I worry
Red
about
Death.
I worry about Yuta's equilibrium a little bit. You know,
Look at him. It's just the gait in his walk.
I mean, he got pile driven, and a very precise pile driver. What, 3 minutes in?
Yeah.
Yuta taking a little time to get his breath back.
You have to.
Oh, I mean, he'd be crazy not to at this point.
Yep.
Because again, Garcia has to beat him. He doesn't have to beat Garcia.
100%.
That championship advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, what is?
I don't know what he was looking for.
And indeed, Garcia countering down with his back elbows, and they're thrown from an angle where Yuta can't really see him coming. He just threw him over. Just threw him over with like an unusual takedown. That senton was, I mean, Garcia. That was the arm. He landed on that arm.
Doesn't have to be pretty anymore. That's the whole thing.
I don't know if it was by intention that it was thrown to that arm, but that's where he landed.
I'll take it. I mean, that's how you have to look at things. And now a perfect maneuver for Wheeler to gather himself, get some breath, and also take some breath away.
Maybe work over the sternum and perhaps crack ribs too in the process. You're killing 2 or 3 birds with one stone. Yuta kind of pulling on his toes there for oh, look at that. Red Death.
Oh, wow. Able to change that body scissors into some sort of
like an ankle vice.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you call that. I can tell you this much, you can break ankles really, really quick.
Yeah.
Really, really quick.
slap to the face as the crowd chants Wheeler Yuta.
Yuta taunting the challenger here. That's been a mistake all match. Every time he's slipped into this, he's ended up having to pay for it.
I mean, one of the biggest strengths of Daniel Garcia is his intensity, is his drive. Why would you get him fired up? Why would you add more fuel to the fire? Look at his face, reminiscent of the early minutes of this match.
Major tactical error this late in the game from Yuta.
Trying to piss this kid off.
There's a smattering of Yuta fans, but a very partisan Red Death crowd for the most part here in Williamstown today. Oh, he picked a leg. He picked a leg. Oh, big flurry. That's not the ropes. Yuta's got to keep covering up. Able to. Oh, right to the ribs. Again.
That bad arm, shoulder, right under the armpit. That's no fun. But look at the instincts to hold on to that leg.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, they call him Red Death, but there's no dying.
No.
I mean, he is, if he's conscious, he's got a shot, and he's going to keep fighting with everything he's got left.
Of course.
But he does have to be conscious. And at this, I mean, we're getting close to the point where he may not be able to sustain consciousness much longer. I mean, this guy's had a hellacious schedule this week. I don't want to take anything away from Wheeler Yuta. He had a no DQ match with Slade on Thursday. But Daniel Garcia had the Scenic City Invitational over the weekend, wrestling 3 matches there. He was on AEW. I mean, he's been all over the place. That takes its toll as well. And for these two guys, with what they've gone through, to come in here and get at this level of a title fight, that proves that these guys are the top of the game. And it proves to me that the winner is the world champion.
Good Lord. And I mean, if Wheeler keeps operating the way that he is doing, taunting this man, it's going to take Daniel Garcia to a place that Wheeler Yuta does not want him to be.
45 minutes have elapsed in the time limit. 15 minutes remain.
Well,
15 minutes remain. As Rich Palladino reminds us that this is, in fact, a 1-hour time limit, as are all IWTV Independent Wrestling World Championship bouts. Having said that, you know, Yuta can't play to run out the clock. He can't afford that. Moriarty, I don't think he made that mistake, but if he was thinking that a couple months back, he made a mistake because Yuta beat him at 53 minutes. Cover there.
If you're playing for a tie, that's when the loss really comes into play.
That you're absolutely, I mean,
if Lee thought, hey, let's just get to 60 and get out of here, well, that's when Yuta stepped in and took it from him.
Absolutely.
And he has to understand that with 15 minutes remaining, you have to apply pressure and you have to win. You want to be a world champion? Win.
Absolutely. And like we said, at this juncture, any big impact move can finish it.
Yep.
Anything.
Both men back up to their feet. Look at
got him.
Oh,
He's got his helmet up.
Sends him down.
Into a choke. That Falcon into a choke. Now, he does not quite have the hooks in a traditional sense. It doesn't look like to me. Close, but not quite. You want to have either a body scissors, well, he tried to sort of shift there. But now you just got to carry his weight.
Not easy, but it might be the way out.
Wow. Hitting those ropes.
Right into the turn.
Oh, but he's back on.
Cinches it back in, but they are in the ropes. Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Ouch. Just the back of Wheeler's head smashing into the face of Garcia. Not to mention all the weight going down on the lower back and tailbone, knocking the wind out of him. These two going to absolute war here at IWTV 100.
A World Championship main event here in Williamstown, New Jersey, in the H2O Wrestling Center on a day when we've seen some wild matches. We have not seen anything quite like this. This is a different level. This is, wait a minute here. We got that rootin' interest again. And sometimes, you see, in pro sports, you see sometimes toward the end of the game, if a crowd can rally enough behind somebody, that can determine it too. That can turn the tide. People feed off that. Energy is real. You feed, you dig. If Garcia can feed off that, maybe he can get back in it and win. Well, just like that, yeah.
Both of these competitors just exhausted. But like you said, home field advantage is an absolute real thing. And
look at this crowd.
In pro wrestling, it can work in both ways.
Listen to this crowd. Give it up for the best two independent wrestlers in the world. The world champion of independent wrestling. The #1 contender. 45 plus, probably nearing 50 minutes at this stage. Championship rounds. Who's gonna get it done?
I mean, this is where champions are made, right? Right here, right now. You say you want it. Well, go and get it. Gosh. For every long drive, for every injury these two have been through, it's for right now.
Absolutely. Each one of those strikes just taking the wind, taking the breath. I mean, this is a test of wills. This is really a test of wills here.
Both men back up to their feet.
Just like that, Garcia's down. Remember, Garcia's sustained a lot of damage, as we've noted. Not just to that arm, but to that rib cage and that sternum. So, you know, the chops, they hurt from both parties, but there's an extra bit of danger.
10 minutes remain.
Oh, boy. It's money time.
Yeah, 10 minutes remaining. We're in 10-minute challenge territory, really, for Daniel Garcia at this point.
Let's see if that leads to an uptick from Garcia.
They're trading here. And Garcia is putting together a flurry. Yuta fires back with one of his own. Pushing him all the way across. Right, here comes Garcia again. And he's picking up the pace. Champ tries to scoop him up.
Not enough.
Reverse atomic drop. Oh, airball and then Zaguro.
He's got that choke.
He smothered him too. Using that bodyweight forward.
He doesn't have the hooks in, but he's carrying that weight.
Oh boy, look at his face, look at Yuta's face. You gotta watch that face closely. Yuta trying to use that hand to break the tit. Good Lord.
Takes him over with that suplex.
This could be it.
Hey, come on.
2. Garcia checking to make sure his teeth are all there.
Checking in on both competitors here.
Great job by the official really all match long. Giving them latitude when need be, stepping in to a check at the appropriate moments, enforcing the rules in a I believe, a fair and impartial manner.
100%.
Garcia might be trying to deadlift him. Oh, and no. Yuta counters out. Oh, God.
Right down across those knees.
To the sternum. 2 in. Who's that? Is that Matt Mikowski?
It is.
I believe that is Matt Mikowski.
Like you said, curtain sellout.
Absolutely. Trish Adora, a world champion in her own right. Pan-African Diaspora World Champion.
Oh,
looking on as well. Yuta off the top of a huge dive. We're 50 plus, but this is probably near the mark where he won the championship, in fact.
Yeah. At about 53 minutes.
You got to wonder at this point, is that an offensive move or a defensive strategy? You know, are you weaponizing yourself to try to play clock? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I do think that there's become a personal issue here, and I think Yuta would prefer to win in the ring. I do.
Despite his attitude, I think that he wants to win this in the ring.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out right now. That proves he does. Because he could have taken a count out there, and he chose not to. The champ wants to pin or submit Garcia. Huge splash off the top. Cover with a leg hook.
Floats it over. Let's go, King Kong!
German with a bridge. 1, 2. Garcia just rotates, but he's not able to break that waistline. Nope. And that's bad news for him. With those ribs, that sternum. Yuta, this is not just a grip, it's an offensive maneuver right now. This will take the breath away. Garcia, big back elbows. Snap German this time.
Still can't break that waist lock.
No. And if you're Yuta, this is really the best of both worlds. You're really continuing to take the wind away. You're attacking the ribs and the sternum as well as the arm, really. And if you're able to get him up, you're able to hit a high-impact move. And if you don't, you're continuing to chip away at the clock. So this is, for him, it's a perfect strategy. Almost a 2. That was very close to a straight jacket. He had at least one of the arms trapped, it looked like to me.
Very impressive to see Wheeler Yuta implementing strategy like this. I mean, almost like he had an end game in case this went deep.
5 minutes heavy left. 5 minutes remain.
On a count again. German again with another break. No.
Man. Garcia looking worse for wear. Yuta's got him in some deep, deep waters right now.
Yuta literally lifted up his body and just sort of almost did like the beginning of a headstand to pressure that shoulder and utilizing anything on him to put pressure on the ribs and sternum of Garcia. Garcia able to counter out. Oh, put through.
Be looking for that.
Oh, I think it was the sharpshooter. He might have been the sharpshooter or that. He does like that Negro Navarro style leg lock sometimes.
Scouted by Wheeler Yuta. Look at the strength.
Oh, he countered!
Not this time.
He countered!
Taps him over. He's only got the one arm, though.
Only the one arm, but
come on, kids.
Look how late we are. How much does Yuta have left in the tank to get out of this thing?
Look at him weave that right arm through to hook some more pressure. Referee in position.
He leans back.
Come on, lock it in.
Let's go. The last second. He's not giving up on it. He's not giving up on it yet. He's kicking at that arm. He's keeping the arm away from the rope. Over. Watch his body. Is he out? He's close to fade. Oh my God. Oh my God. If they were an inch, maybe 2 inches closer into the center of the ring, I believe we would have seen a referee stop it.
Garcia absolutely exhausted. Just gave every ounce to that hold.
Holy smokes, several times in this match, Yuta has been able to stay just close enough to the ropes or be in the ropes at a point when Garcia was putting a kind of flurry together where a stoppage might at least be considered.
Yeah.
The ring presence of the champion cannot be understated in his ability to hold on to that championship so far as we get deep into this 60-minute time limit match.
Garcia visualizing what it takes to gain a victory. Here we go.
Hard. Big drop kick to the back of the head. And that head's taking a lot of damage.
Let's go.
To those elbows.
Take him there.
Trying to float him over, maybe.
Look at the strength from
Wheeler! He's got him up. He's going for the U-tap. No. He's got the U-tap in. Less than 2 minutes here. The World Championship on the line. Garcia trap. And the U-tap. This is what we did Moriarty right before he dropped him on his head. He's trying to submit him now. Oh, he's not able to hold it. Garcia with only one arm.
twisting tombstone pile driver.
He hit it. And a tombstone variation is how you're the one. Now it's how. He's gonna win now. Almighty. Just following him in the back. Oh, he's right on top. Here it is. Boy. He's got it covered up. He is defending himself. Garcia moving.
Let's go, Danny. Come on, Danny.
Let's go. Come on. And he's leaned back. The legs trapped. Garcia shifting his weight again. He's got his hand in the extra leverage. Every bit of juice, every bit of energy he's got left. You're just trying to fight desperately. He's got the arm in the head.
He's got
legs, arm, head. Come on, can't that left arm. He's trying to use it. He's using his bed. He might choke him out. Strike. He's still there. We can see that hand. Come on. Oh, it's it deep. Come on, give it up. Come on, is it deep enough? Oh, he tapped. That's at the bell, and I think it was late. I'm not certain.
No, he tapped out.
What's our new champ? I think personally, if it's right at 60, to me the tie goes to the champ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 60-minute time limit has
Oh, wow.
expired. Referee declares this bout a draw.
I know you don't like to hear it.
World Champion, Wheeler Yuta.
I know you don't want to hear it, Shrugs. I do think that happened right at 60, and I think in that scenario, the tie goes to the champ. You have to